All right, hello. Welcome to Grim and Perilous Place. We are live as they're talking weird things about mothers. Luckily, I had you all muted so they couldn't hear you. They just heard
That's
me.
delicious. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's apparently one of the phrases that was uttered, I guess. So,
Oh,
but
Can we
yeah.
can
maybe.
we please not say delicious when we're talking about my mother?
I don't know. I
Jeremy, this
guess
was your idea.
I mean,
this
it's a
was.
Saturday. What do you
I
expect?
know.
Mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
ashamed.
But we really are live. They can hear everything that we've been saying for the past 30 seconds. So
That's what the
we're
wine
playing.
koozies are for.
We're playing Heart, the City Beneath again. For some reason, I've come back to run more. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself.
Because it's not a
Uh,
guard block night.
I know. I keep getting our schedules crossed. I keep thinking, but no, they're like, oh no, we got nothing tonight. I'm like, you sure? You sure we don't want to do a North American stream?
Anything at all?
Anything at all? Anything? I can run
You
some.
need me to see if I can talk to Pete for you?
No, it's okay.
Oh wait, that would be working against myself. No, I won't do that.
So, customarily, I think what we would do right now is introduce like characters and stuff like that. But I don't want to do that because that takes too long. So let's just jump right into the game. And if you want to know what people are playing, I'm sure they're going to mention it as they go. Plus, their names are on the overlay. So yeah, there's stuff like that. So I figure let's just jump in, quick summary, and then we'll dive back into the story and get as much done as we can. No one, just gonna experiment with no introductions and see how this goes. So you all are a group from a haven known as Bleeding Hollow, Meat Tree, as you can see in Chuck and Adam's backgrounds. You all are trying to find a source of Spire Black Oil to help support your haven, as a recent terrorist attack there seems to have ruined some things. You've been delving for a bit, trying to get to this refinery that you have information on. And recently you found yourself lost within a series of, or network, I should say, of old Vermissian tunnels, which are like kind of like a magical subway station. And very, very recently, you all fought and defeated a fairly large tech behemoth, possibly god beast, that was calling those tunnels home. And it was actually quite rough. I think most everybody took stress and fallout, and everyone's kind of like limping around. You took a little bit of a break at a nearby train depot in the middle of this delve. Zenobe, you briefly visited the realm of the drowned queen, who summoned Malik. In once Malik got in that realm, kind of communicated, trying to get Malik to help out Zenobe, whose mind has become addled and crowded, as there's many other voices now that are trying to tell you all sorts of weird things. And then Lucius, I believe, also made a ghostly friend named Blobby. His name is Blobby, and whose body, I think it was, is somewhere nearby, and he wants like your help in doing something with the body. I think that's basically what it is, right?
Gotta put it down.
You got to put the body down. Is that what it is?
Or
You got to
put him in. If I can put him in the body, put him in the body. If not, I'll put him down.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Either way.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pick up there. You have just finished your rest. The delve is still going, but we're near the very end. The resistance is only down to 4. So you hop off of the platform, the train platform. You move past that giant behemoth corpse that you can see behind you after a few hours of rest. It's still there, hasn't come back to life or anything like that. You travel forward a bit down this long tunnel. The tunnel, you notice metal pretty much everywhere, but there's also, the ground is all sorts of this sort of crunchy asphalt. And at a certain point, you notice that your feet, as you're walking, become increasingly sunken within that like kind of malleable asphalt, as if like it's starting to get looser and deeper, and you find yourself struggling to move, as it almost feels like quicksand with each movement you take, kind of shifting through this asphalt, this kind of malleable, almost liquid at this point, is kind of pulling you all down as you try to move forward. Who would like to try to help out the group bypass this issue? All right, nobody. So they all sink and die in the
Yeah.
quicksand.
I'm okay with that.
Campaign over.
No. I was conferring with my fallouts to see if I have anything that would keep me, but I don't.
You know
So
what? I want to do this. I got this.
Okay.
All right. You know what?
All right.
Dante's got it. He's shown up. He kind of cruised through the last one because he kind of showed up a little late. So he's like, you know what, guys, I got this. So he's gonna lead the delve. You know what? I got this.
Okay.
So
What would you like to do? Like how is Dante attempting to help everybody across this stretch of weird asphalt quicksand?
So, I mean, noticing these tunnels, I mean, there's usually multiple tunnels. Like, there's service entrances and stuff like that. So,
Sure.
he's going to be looking for maybe not the normal beaten path, but like a side path. Like
Okay.
a service tunnel
All
along
right.
this. Because we're still kind of in that Vermissian training
Yes,
kind of.
there is a
right?
very. You have found yourselves within this expansive, ever expanding, and sort of circuitous tunnel. You can see there's definitely been a few intersections here and there where different tunnels have come into contact with each other. But if you're looking for other paths, you could do probably something like discern if you want. You could do. Yeah, I think discern would be good, as it's like trying to sort of find some sort of employee or auxiliary access. Delve is usually like an all-purpose thing as well, so there's always delve that you can just use. Tech would be the best domain here, but I'll also take Warren, since it's kind of a tunnel. Warrens are narrows.
We're gonna stick with delve, because we
Okay.
got we're pretty good with delve. We're not really a technology kind of guy, I don't believe so, but Dante has faith. We'll see.
All right.
Do you feel that you would like some assistance?
Uh,
No, you don't need
I mean,
it.
it was a standard test, right?
Just standard difficulty.
Okay, then it's critical success.
Okay. Go ahead and roll D6 unless you have actually D4. Unless you have, do you have delve equipment of some kind?
I don't have any
Is-
delve.
Is
do
the
I?
communion still in effect?
Yeah, because we're on the same delve, so
Okay.
he still gets the +1,
2 even.
+2 now. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Because it was the crit. That's right. So roll, if you don't have any specific delve equipment, just roll a D4 +2, and then
Yeah, I mean,
multiply.
usually
that
when I do
by
my
2.
prepared, I do trusty,
Okay.
so that way I can have I roll twice and take the better of the two.
Sure.
So how are we doing that with the criticals?
Okay, so then just roll. First of all, just let's figure out what's on your D4. So just roll 2D4, and we'll take the higher.
Okay. 2d4, right?
Yeah, just roll
Roll
2D4, and whatever D4 is the highest is what we'll take.
Okay,
Oh,
so we got a
geez.
2 and a 1, so 2.
Okay, so then, we're doubling that for
Alright.
for the crit to a total of 4,
Okay.
and then we have the +2 from Malik, which would get you to 6. So,
Alright.
So yeah, you look around and you do notice, in fact, that it's not so much an extra tunnel, but it does seem like there's some sort of kind of arched door, a doorway on the right-hand side of the tunnel as you guys are trudging through it, almost like it's swamp. Likely, you probably have some kind of rope or something else on you, and you see this door up ahead, and you're able to kind of hook something around it, pull each other out, and you realize that it's it almost looks like like some kind of bypass. You can see like it's not the tunnel itself. There's not a rail car on it, but there's this long walkway, and periodically along the way of this, there's these panels that actually look back out onto the tunnel itself. You're not sure if it's like two-way or not, but it certainly lets you see the tunnel as you pass it. And at some point, you notice that same kind of asphalt that was slushing around begins to harden once more. You also notice there's more debris eventually after maybe a half an hour's worth of walk down this bypass tunnel. And you can see all this debris that's sitting right on top of it that's not sinking. That probably gives you the confidence at this point that sunken quicksand seems to have subsided. So so as you depart this little this bypass hallway, and you get back out onto the tunnels themselves. It's not 20 minutes more before you start to notice up ahead that there's another one of these massive networks of tunnels you can see in train tracks and stuff, and you can see that it's almost like this fulcrum of all these different angles. So some are coming from like the right and the left, and these from these angled directions, but it's all kind of parallel to the ground. But then you see others that are kind of angled, some of them coming almost vertically from the ceiling, and the train tracks are like weaving down. Others are coming up from below. You see other train tracks that just seem to appear in the middle of the air in front of you, that kind of weave around, and almost like a braided bit of hair as the train tracks begin to rotate around. You also see that at the center of this fairly enormous kind of Penn Station like cavern, this nexus, there's this fairly large turntable, and there's nothing on it, but those of you with any kind of knowledge of the Vermissian realize this is likely used to sort of shift and change tracks, and all of these different tracks seem to converge on it, and likely the intention was to get these train cars onto this turntable, shift and like redirect it in these different ways. You notice that there at the very top of this huge chamber, there's this dome ceiling. There's like this various cracks and things that are sort of peeking through it, including some of those train tracks coming down. And as you look at this machinery by this turntable, you realize that it's on like multiple axes. It's a y-axis, x-axis, z-axis. As it seems that it's not just turnable in a sort of singular plane, but you can kind of shift and move and shift and move. And everything that you're reading on some of these outputs just makes no sense. You see that like this huge station, there's groups of other people that are here as well. Like you can see some appear to be using some kind of like handheld devices to measure some of these portals where these train tracks are coming out of. You see others that are like dressed in robes and almost this reverence, kind of standing at like this confluence of train tracks. And then you also see this large golem, is probably the best word, like made of concrete, and a few others that kind of seem to be kind of nearby the turntable as well. As you all have finished your delve, and you have reached a place that probably you've heard about or rumored about, called Terminus, which is the sort of the nexus of all of these different Vermissian tracks. What would y'all like to do here?
First, I'll address the group. Like, what is our next step? It's plenty to interact with. What is our goal here to move us forward?
We need to find a way to the factory to resupply the fuel, so to speak.
So we're looking. Okay. There's holy people over there. I can go speak with them. And if they're heretics, kill them. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, we need to find where this oil is. So hopefully they keep track of that sort of thing.
There's some who do seem to be studying.
Well, if we divide and conquer, maybe some of you talk to the technical people, and anyone else. Adam, you're muted. Anyone else who wants to tag along?
Ooh, I can do that. You know, I've always heard that turntables are good for spinning tracks.
Mm-hmm. The ones and the twos.
Yeah. I mean, if you need someone to help compel people, that's what I'm good at.
Oh, good. Well, let's go. Zelina, did you want to come with us?
Yeah.
Oh,
as long
good.
as we're not by the big stone creature.
Okay, sure. So
Do the big stone creatures? Doesn't seem like they're working for any group.
No, they seem like their own group. Each of them are probably somewhere between about 8 and maybe 12 feet tall. They look to be made of like literally chunks of concrete, as if they've been stitched together. And you all notice that like in between the seams of where these chunks of concrete have come together to create these kind of bipedal shapes, You can see that same kind of like pinkish, semi-corporeal substance that sometimes drips from Esme and others whenever, and Zenobe at times when they were like, especially when Zenobe was tapping into the brain systems, or sometimes when Esme has kind of reached into the echo or tried to command or sort of contort the heart itself. It's likely some kind of manifestation of heart's blood that's stitching them together. But they also seem to just be, not sure if they're like tourists just moving around, but they don't seem to be like aggressing. No one really seems to be aggressing on anyone within the station here.
Hi.
Who is this to?
We're approaching the technological group. Me, Zelina, and Dante.
Okay, yeah, you see it. Yeah, you see a couple. You see, it's mostly a group of gnomes mostly a group of gnolls and like looks like about 2 humans, and they have this fairly advanced tech that they're using to sort of measure certain things. And when you come up, like one of the gnolls turns to you. Hello, greetings, and can we help you?
Yes, I was wondering if you could help us navigate this. I have always heard about these stations here. I've been fascinated about it, and I'm here for the first time ever. I'm so excited. I want to know everything.
Well, everything is an unattainable goal. We can probably impart upon you some amount of wisdom and knowledge, but everything seems, well, first of all, impossible for us to provide you as we are continuing to learn, and secondly, new information is coming every single day, so it is really impossible to learn everything. Maybe, lower the bar a bit.
You're right, and I am just trying to be positive and excited. No, I don't really mean everything. Oh, you're silly, Ish. She's trying to joke with him.
He seems like this, missing every joke. Everything's kind of going right over the head, just staring at you with these sort of dead, like science eyes, like just really focused on like just learning, and doesn't seem to have time for humor.
Well, I happen to know a thing or two, but I was wondering if I could just kind of peer over your shoulder and see what you're gaining from this, because we need to go. And where was the name of the location we need to go?
Eventually, you need to get to Spire Black Factory by a Sanyan Cell.
We need to get to Spire Black Factory. So, we'd like to get there, and perhaps if you help us, if anything of yours is broken, maybe I can help fix it.
Spire Black Factory repair. They kind of look at each other and they kind of shrug, like, some of our equipment has been malfunctioning of late. Perhaps you can repair it for us.
I would love to.
So be it.
And they hand over this. It's like a handheld device. They've been kind of looking at them, and like you can tell that they're struggling. They're doing the classic like smash it on the side, trying to get it to work, and whatever information is supposed to just pulling the cartridge out, blowing it, putting it back in.
And they say it is supposed to measure the the energy of the heart. The terminus is a nexus device. It siphons the energy of the heart, and it is using that in itself to. It's not important, but this is supposed to.
No. Go on.
Well, the theory is that terminus, again, in theory, is it could potentially access any part of the Vermissian across the entirety of the city beneath, and that includes what we think are more folk tales and urban legends. The Lost Harvest Line, for instance, and the Crescent of the Morning Station. These are places that no one has any real stories about visiting. Other stations, the Grip and Hang and Grin, people have gone there, yes, but these are strange places
But have you ever noticed that a lot of these things that we just think are folklore wind up being true?
No, I have not noticed that.
Huh. Well, you should join us sometime. So, um, if you'd like, I could take a look at that particular part, and then you can help us find where we need to go.
Of
As
course.
I
That is
look
the
back
deal.
at. Oh, and this is Zelina, and this is Dante. They're wonderful.
Hey, what's up?
And so, like, she takes the device and sits down cross-legged immediately, as she is currently suffering from a fallout where all of those buboes
The blisters and things.
burst
Yeah.
open, and so she's got all of these like open wounds on her skin, and all of these bees come crawling out of the open wounds and up her arms and into the device.
Yeah.
And she just starts humming and like sitting there just kind of swaying back and forth as the bees are going inside this particular device. And I'm going to use my ability of perfect machine. And given time, I can repair technological devices even if I don't have the right parts. I synthesize them from wax and extruded bone.
Nice. Okay. Does it require a mend tech roll, which is normally what it would be? Okay.
That's your choice, but it doesn't say.
Yeah, I think we're fine. I think it's fine. You're using the ability. It's cool.
Yeah, I was going to assist if you needed. Do you do a mend anyway? I got mend.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I don't mind if you make me do it. Like,
sure.
so-
Roll mend tech. Dante can lend a hand. It's fine.
Yeah.
Normal difficulty's fine.
Yeah, he points out things that are like super obvious. Like, that's the power button.
This is
Yes,
the
it
reset.
is. I'm so proud of you.
Input, output. This is where you put second player controller right in here.
That is the best. Whenever there's options for co-op, that makes the game better. I've never had an experience where it wasn't.
I agree. I think
Oh, we should play sometime.
maybe.
I did press roll, so it's coming.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you got a success, straight success. So yeah, your bees pour out, you create these sort of waxy replacement parts for some of the things that have been damaged. You see them out of the sides of this machine, like there's like little bits and pieces that get thrown out that aren't like effective anymore as the wax replacements come in, and you hand it back to him and he kind of punches it in. You can see it comes up once more, like the screen seems to be working. He starts to scan over.
Oh, I am not sure what you did, crazy smiling lady, but with the bees
Me neither.
and the bad acne. But this is excellent. You have it's working quite well. Yes. Oh, where is it you needed to go again?
You know, I'm just a scatterbrain.
Oh,
We're going to Spire Black Factory.
Ah,
I think we need to get
yes.
some Spire Black.
Ah, yes, you are some distance. You must travel, but I can. Let me see. There are so many routes out of here. What this actually will help. One moment,
And you can see it just starts like scanning it around like it's a tricorder.
yes, this one right here.
And he shows like this set of tracks that is detached from any kind of physical floor that just like it looks like to ascend into this side of the wall.
Go follow those tracks into that cave. That should take you some ways. You will reach Grin Station, and then you will go to Hang Station thereafter. Stay on the main track. Do not take any side tracks. I cannot verify where they go. We are trying to map it, but ever-changing places are very difficult to map. And you will reach Hang Station, and then that will connect to the factory.
Okay, so Hang Station connects to the factory, which connects to Gren Station.
That is right. Yes.
All right.
And be very well. I'm sure you'll be fine, but be very careful if you travel. When you travel through the Grin Station, sometimes the carnival. If you hear too many people in a group playing music, avoid them. They are not friendly. They will do horrific things to you. But anyway, thank you so much. You all were very helpful. I hope this is a mutual transaction.
Oh, me too. We did it, as she turns around and like high fives Dante and Zelina.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So what were the rest of you doing while that was all going on?
I was gonna go talk to the religious-looking people.
Okay. So yeah, you head over to some of these tech priests. What about Moloch and Zenobe?
I'll join. Just
I
kind of like loom
will.
over his shoulder.
Definitely not talk to religious people.
Okay. The only other group then is these concrete golems with the sort of seeping like ectoplasm coming out of them.
You
Those are
should
the only
totally ask those concrete boys if they've ever drowned before.
So Lucius and Malik, you head over. There's a group of people that seem to be like they're set up with this strange kind of spinning device that you can tell, and there's all of these like kind of weird runes that are lit up and spinning around it. It's almost like this orrery of different spheres and tracks that they seem to be kind of hovering above their open palms, and they're like chanting a bit as you come up. But as they chant, you can tell that they have voice boxes, so there's not actual human voices, biological. It's suppose it comes out like this. But yeah, you approach, and this is what you see, as they seem to be going through some kind of prayer.
Hmm. Is there any way?
Greetings. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to interrupt their prayers. It's all blasphemous anyway, so what does it matter? Greetings, pilgrims. I am a servant of
Greetings.
the fleshy tree.
The fleshy tree, we are unfamiliar.
It's a small group.
Sounds
In fact,
blasphemous.
I'm one of the few clergy. I don't appreciate that. What all are you doing here?
We are studying the Nexus.
It looks... Studying the Nexus in which way?
You are at the center of all. The city itself revolves around this device. We are trying to determine how long it has been spinning, how long it has been rotating, and we are trying to effect some sort of repairs to ensure that it continues spinning.
Very well. Perhaps you could be of assistance. We're looking for the engine place with the oil.
Spire Black.
The Spire Black. I'm
Yeah.
bad with names. Yeah. We're looking for the Spire Black. If
You
you're
only need to worry about the meat tree.
Yes, that's my concern, really.
There is
Do you
no
know of it?
Spire Black here. That
Well-
is a rudimentary fuel and energy source. The Nexus device does not need such limiting things. It is powered purely by heart's blood energy.
That's kind of cool, as is the meat tree.
Never heard of it.
That's fine. You don't need to be
Sounds
rude.
made up.
Looked at Malik like, is it time?
It seems contradictory. A tree is a plant. Meat is not a plant.
Yes, it's a gift from the heart. Flesh we use to fuel our bodies grows from the dirt like a plant.
If you say so.
Yes, yes. Well, you're quite dry, and I'm tired of this conversation. If
have
you do not
clearly
need,
fallen onto the wrong path, but that is your path to take. It will lead
Yes.
you elsewhere. You will spin off of the Nexus and into oblivion. We need not you.
Why is the time that it's been spinning so important to you?
Because it will determine the age of this place, and we are curious. If we know the origin, we might be able to predict the end.
Malik will dig into his packet of stuff, take out there's that weird tech cultist that would steal things and memories, and I had ripped that thing out of his head.
Mm-hmm.
We came across some who had memories quite ancient and collected from various sources. If in some way this would help you in your holy quest, I give it freely.
Thank you. You are very kind. We do not accept gifts freely. We will return to you a exchange here.
And they hand over to you what looks like it's like a book, except it's got like a metal binding. And if you like flip it open, you realize that even though there's like pages are extraordinarily thick and they're laced with these weird sort of bits of circuitry, and you watch as like lights move around and kind of form, like it forms on each page like this different set of language. And it seems to be some kind of religious treatise. So if you want to keep it, you can take a D8 resource, occult and taboo, is our arts.
Taboo.
Arts 2 tags. Yeah.
Okay, I sure will.
So we know that you're studying it. That way you can make sure that it continues revolving, correct?
This is correct.
Why does it need to continue revolving?
It does not. We are just curious. If the end is to come, we would like to know of its arrival.
Knowing the time of your end is a dangerous thing.
Perhaps, but we have never learned the end, so we cannot confirm your theory.
It's true. What is the name of your organization?
We are the Holy Church of Terminus. It is not very creative, yes, but it is to the point.
That's fair. Where is your headquarters? Do you have headquarters?
You are within our headquarters, for we
All
are
of
within
Terminus.
Terminus. Yes.
Okay,
There
that would
are
make things-
Blasphemers here, and like you can see, they kind of look over towards where like Esma and Zolita and Dante are hanging out with those. And then there are curious pilgrims of a different sort, and they look over towards like the concrete people, and then that one, and kind of looking over towards Zenobe, who's just sort of wandering around by herself. But our church takes all kinds.
What can you tell me of those rock people?
Yes. They talk about untangling things. They are very concerned with the tangled nature of both track and some sort of spiritual energies they claim have routed through here. They are very good at untangling things. That seems to be their concern. We have spoken with them briefly, but they are not of an intellectual sort. They are far more... what is the word? Spiritual? No, that is not right. They are big blocks of rocks.
Okay. I have nothing else that I believe. It was good to meet you.
May your studies prove fruitful. I am hopeful
Yes.
that you will be successful in your studies.
And you, good luck with the pruning of your meat bush tree, your meat tree.
That does remind me. You said it doesn't concern you because Spire Black is crude. But would you at least know which one of these paths would take us there?
Curious question. Let us consult the Nexus.
And you can see they just start spinning like in their hands, these like globes of light, and they're spinning around here and there. And you can see everything. It's just like this conjunction of spears rotating around.
It is some distance from here, relative, of course. But if you follow, well, there are multiple tracks that in fact can reach it. Some are longer than others, some are more tortuous. But the most efficient is this one.
and points to the same one that
Okay.
that has man stuff. That same kind of track that just seems to start in the middle of the air and climbs up
Okay.
into the wall and disappears.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
And thank you. And thank you for this knowledge. You give it freely. We are not used to such charity.
And yet you gave a gift in return, and I'm grateful.
Yes.
Might I press further with another question? I'm sorry to be a burden.
You are not a burden. Enlightenment is never a burden. What can we do to enlighten you today?
You seem... Clearly our task is simple, but you seem fairly advanced. If there was this same technology I've shared with you, it was used to remove and replace memories. Is this a form of technology you are familiar with?
Memory, consciousness alteration. We have dabbled in such things, yes.
That one that you pointed to that seems odd.
Yes, they seem... I pardon me for not having a better term, but sweaty.
They have
Is
been
that
afflicted.
accurate?
Yes, they are sweaty and damp at all times.
And
But-
Zenobe's just walking around in the back, and he's still got the hose hanging out of his forehead.
Yeah.
They have been altered.
Curious.
An unfair and, I would feel, not entirely honest exchange. Is there any chance that you have the knowledge or know of those who could assist him in becoming whole again?
Curious. We have devices that perhaps could aid such an endeavor. It would require intrusive implantation within the subject's brain, assuming they have one. They have one, I assume, yes?
Think so? I've
I
seen
assume.
nothing to deny that.
And there is no guarantee that it will not immediately burn out whatever brain patterns are in there, but most likely it will not. A 5% chance of total brain collapse.
It's not bad.
That is very... We are grateful that you would share that with us. It is his brain, though. Even if it is only 5%. I feel that it is the sort of thing that should require consent.
Of course,
also-
we would think of nothing else.
As we're kind of stepping away, if you're done, Malik, I'm like, well,
Yeah.
if the rock people are good at untangling whatever he has been combined with, maybe they could help him untangle.
I'm somewhat worried with their description of how they handle things. I fear they would untangle his mind with their hands.
Could be. Doesn't hurt to ask. I don't know, I guess it could.
Because perhaps if we told him his head was tangled, they would not hesitate to untangle.
That's true. We
I'm
should
not
still
saying
ask.
that Zenobe is pleasant, but I don't want his head ripped apart.
That is not the right way. In his own special way, he does serve the meat tree. Well, let's go ask Zenobe if he wants intrusive surgery.
Zenobe, what have you been doing while the other two groups have moved off and done things?
Once per session, I can find a usable source of water. So I would like to be looking around for like pond, reservoir, lake, something big enough I can submerge myself in, even if it's like a tank of water that they have for drinking. Like if it's big enough to fit me, I'm good with it.
Yeah, you see, like, kind of split into the wall. This one wall on the far side of the station. There looks to have been some sort of decorative fountain that's being fed by this portal, like this very small portal where a slight waterfall is kind of dripping down into this fountain. And it's probably a good maybe 3 to 4 feet deep at its deepest part, but you could probably submerge yourself with under.
Perfect. I'm gonna rush over there,
Okay.
and I'm going to start stripping down, just to my loincloth underwear, set in my bag, my cloak, all my technology and resources down, and I will just grab a single pouch and I'll turn it out and empty it, and all this random junk falls out into the big bag. It's fine. And then I call out, Zenobe, Zenobe, and a little mouse comes crawling out of my coat. Come on, get in. And he jumps in the bag.
Okay.
Zenobe, you too. Come on. And another mouse comes crawling out of my hat and jumps in the bag. And then I tighten the bag and I get in the water and I just fall backwards flat, holding the bag close to my chest. And at first, the mice are writhing as it fills in with water. But I'm really focusing on the sound of their hearts beating, and it gets frantic, frantic, frantic until it finally stops. And then I continue focusing, listening for more heartbeats. And I enter like this Zen meditation underneath this water where I've just tuned out everything until I hear a much more powerful heartbeat coming from deep down in the core. And I say to myself, Zenobe, I can hear you. And I will stay under the water just listening to the sound of this heart for an hour if I can.
Okay. And we'll say that's when the rest of the group comes back from their various conversations, and you look around for Zenobe, and you see his things like in a pile around this fountain. You kind of peek over, and you can see that there he is, submerged underneath the water. Doesn't seem to be struggling or anything like that. But yeah, you all see him doing this at this point, and you all have had your conversation. So how do you want to handle this?
Zelina's just gonna stick a finger in the water real quick and just test the temperature.
It's cool, but not like cold.
And now she's gonna take her finger and let one little drop land on his face.
Oh, I'm under the water. Like I'm fully submerged for the entire hour.
Submerged.
Drops like right on top of his face, and like it ripples out like this, like rippling comes in different directions. Okay.
Esme will check his wrist for a pulse.
Yeah, you reach down, check the wrist. No, very strong.
I grab my wrist away.
Yeah, very strong beat, and then the wrist is just torn from you.
Oh, I was so scared. I hate to see what would have happened if he would have actually drowned.
Perhaps he would be happy that he did. I don't fully understand his dogma.
Well, even so, he's our friend, and that would be very bad if he died. I would be sad.
I would too.
So we are getting help to go to Blackspire. See those gentlemen over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're helping us.
That is
Well,
excellent
I mean,
news.
they gave us directions.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go to Grin Station, then to Hang Station, and then from Hang Station we can get to the factory. But I want to look around because we got some resources this last this fight from taking down that god beast. I want to look to see if I can trade for some delve equipment.
Okay.
Not sure exactly what I'd be looking for, but I do have this, D10 sized heart, I think, the mechanical heart of that beast, that I'd be willing to trade for some sort of delve equipment. So.
Okay. You look around, and of the sort of the three big groups, you don't really notice anything from those like the sort of the orrery ones that are doing weird things with spheres. The ones that you spoke to had a lot of good equipment that looked to be more like sensor driven, like things to sort of take readings and things, and they didn't look any major tools. But you do notice that those concrete golems have these kind of almost looks like climbing and spelunking gear that they have kind of strapped onto these like crude packs and things like that as well. So your best bet, one would be like either the people you just spoke to that you might be able to get some of that strange tracking tech, or the concrete golems who might give you some like sort of spelunking style gear.
Okay. I feel like the spelunking would be more of like my speed because I'm not really a tech guy. Unless it was like super user friendly, but you know. Yeah, I think I'd go more for like the spelunking gear, see what they got.
Okay. Sounds good. Does anybody else want to join that conversation?
Yeah. Anyone else? I'm gonna see if I can find us some delving equipment.
If you like, of course.
Of course.
For what it's worth, we have heard their main function is to untangle things.
I would be curious to learn more of them. I'll tag along.
Zelina's going to stay by the fountain and just kind of sit against it and just count in her head how long he's under.
Okay. Esme, is there something you wanted to do? Did you want to go with the group to do something else?
I want to do both. I want to check on Zenobe when he gets up, or make sure he doesn't expire, but also I want to go talk to them.
Don't worry, Zenobe will still be there when you get back.
Well, okay, you've convinced me. What do you
Zelina
think?
will yell if he starts to drown.
What do you think, Zelina?
I don't know. I'm just going to count.
That's some amazing insight, Zelina.
Zenobe, would you say that there's like bubbles coming up, or is it just like you're just underneath the water?
Completely still.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the rest of you, with the exception of Zenobe and Zelina, you head over towards this group of about 6 or so, these large 8 to 12 foot tall golems, and you see them. They've been moving about this station, and you see them kind of go up to where like there's this strange mangled like bits of track, and they seem to be working on it. And so that's when you walk up behind them, you notice that some of them are just kind of reaching their hands out. There are these huge meaty kind of 3-fingered hands, and you can see like spewing forth from between the cracks is that sort of semi-corporeal kind of pinkish glue, glowing goo that just sort of weaves around and kind of seems to like pull apart various sort of non-physical components of this track. And then you see others are just using some of these just physical force, like their arms, their strength there, pry bars, crowbars, and they seem to just literally be trying to untangle the track. And as you get close, one of them sees you and just turns to look and just says,
Hello, travelers. What brings you to the knot?
So I'm looking for some delve equipment. Don't know if you guys got anything willing to trade for, but looking for a little bit of ways to get around easier.
We are blessed with many tools to untie that which is tied. We could exchange if you have something that could help us untangle better.
I think that I might have something that could assist you in this. And
their
you
eyes get really big at that. They look almost childlike in like excitement.
Yeah, and then you can decide what you think it's worth, and we can barter a bit back and forth. I have an imported book of meditated stances and recipes to clean your spirit. Untangling of the spirit.
Yes, this is acceptable. We have sensed many in this station are tangled of spirit. One in particular.
And their eyes kind of all turn towards the fountain.
We have not seen such a knot in some time. We could give you one of our tools. There is an array of selections.
And their like big old arms kind of expand wide. And yeah, it's in like the gear itself, some of it seems to be like they made it themselves. A lot of it's big and heavy. But one of them, there's a couple things that are probably a little bit more interesting than others. One of them almost looks like some sort of piece of like rudimentary, almost steampunk technology, like a Jaws of Life thing that you could potentially use. There's this massive pick that actually would double as a weapon with the brutal tag. So either of those are probably the ones that might catch your eye, unless there's something in particular you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean,
You said you wanted spelunking gear. Can you explain to me what this steampunky thing does?
This here.
Yeah.
When two things or more are tight, this goes between and pulls apart.
oh,
That could come in handy, but then again, the pickaxe. Malik, I'm sure you're strong enough to wield something that large. I don't know how imposing Dante's figure is.
I mean, he's a hound, so he's pretty decently
Okay,
built.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'd like heft the mining axe just to get a feel for it, like give it like a swing or two.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's probably not something that you would get tired if you were using it for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But a couple swings, you can get a couple good heavy swings out of this, sure.
Yeah, and plus you could still jick it in and pry something over maybe.
Yeah.
I think it would be better suited in your hands. I prefer to be self-sufficient.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping, before when we found those dogs that maybe Esme might be able to fix one of those up for me, and have it that way we can have it like scout and climb. Dogs are pretty good like that. But
I have some teeth for it.
well, yeah, maybe when we get back. But for now, yeah, I mean we can go with I like the heft of the pickaxe.
I mean, it does have multiple functions. That's
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah, the other
So-
one does the blow up thing.
Yeah.
But not like explosion, it's like inflating, I should say.
No, it does not explode. It just separates that which is close. Even something that does not want to be separated can be separated.
Can you untangle him? As I point over towards the fountain.
We would enjoy such a challenge. The undying of Echo is a specialty of our kind, as much as the physical. Yes, we would try.
Okay.
There is a 4% chance of total annihilation of its brain, however.
That is lower
Yeah.
than... Yeah.
When we talked to the religious people, they said they might be able to do something, and it was a 5% chance of total destruction.
They are fools.
They said the same as you, or of you.
Oh, snap.
We
Same
could
and
smash
as
them,
you.
but we choose not to.
Oh,
We don't like to smash. We like to fix.
so I'll tell you what. This book that I'm willing to provide, your pickaxe, and that should do. Dante, out of
If-
character, do you have any supply damage?
I don't have any supply damage now.
Okay.
So these guys can also serve as it's very rare, but they can serve as an echo haunt as well. So if any of you have echo damage, you could potentially give them a resource to get echo healing.
Ooh.
I don't. I have a lot of blood fallout. But yeah. Does that sound like a fair trade? You try to untangle our friend, and we take the pickaxe, and you take this book?
Yes. If we might offer a counter.
Yeah?
You mentioned teeth. We are curious. If you give us teeth, we could give you both our items.
Oh.
Esme, those are your teeth, aren't they?
Well, they're the dog's teeth.
I mean, the dog's not going to be really biting things. I want it more like for exploratory reasons. So I'd be willing to give that up.
You sure? I mean, what? Then they would say that dog doesn't have any bite.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I want it to bark to let us know, whether we need to go into the well or not.
And then Dante can bite.
Yeah, I bite.
Okay. As she, like, without hesitation, hands over the teeth.
Eyes get really big. They start like trying to put them up into. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And they
it's
get like one snaggle tooth to fit between like a thing, and they kind of.
How does it look?
Oh, you look great.
Good. I will share them with my friends.
And starts to pass like a couple of teeth out.
Yeah, they're a D8 technology.
Okay, yeah, that's plenty. So you're getting. So there's two things you're getting. One is the stone pick. That's D6. That is got delve and brutal tags on it. And then I can't remember the tag for the other one. Hang on, I have it. Let me look it up really quick. And then the Jaws of Life. That is a D6 as well. Also delve, but where is it? There's like a. It's the bulky one. I always forget. Oh, sorry, reload, because it's something that has to like every time you use it, like you can't like it has to like be reset.
Dante or Malik, do one of you want to hold on to this?
Yeah, I want to take the pickaxe.
I figured you were taking the pickaxe. I was speaking
so-
more of the jaws.
Yeah, someone else should take that. That way we can spread out the delve equipment.
I'll take it then, if that's the case.
Sure.
At this point, we'll say the hour is up, Zenobe. If you want to.
Would that count as a long ritual?
I think so. I mean, they've been talking and wheeling and dealing and looking around, so it's probably been, hour and a half, 2 hours or so. I think that's fine.
Also, if I spend an hour fully submerged, I can remove all minor blood fallout.
Okay, I think this counts.
So, Zelina, when I pop up finally, you'll see that I had a lot of like scratches and cuts from the previous fight. And when I come out of the water, all of those are healed. However, the implant that's in my forehead and still kind of dangling, whatever infection is there is actually getting worse. Like the black sort of like veins, but they're like 90-degree circuitry. It's actually covering more of my face than before.
When you pop up, Zelina's gonna pop up real fast with their dagger in hands. Nobody holds their breath that long.
I wasn't holding it.
You had no breath whatsoever, no bubbles, no nothing.
I was breathing the water. You can't do that.
Do I look like I have gills?
Neither do I.
I will go ahead and cut him a little bit on his hand just to make sure he's still him.
Doppelganger check.
Are you doing like a full-on attack or just like a little cut?
Just a little prick,
All right,
you know.
that's fine.
Like there.
Yes,
Who's
we
that
know
for?
he is, but we want to know if
And
he
I'm
actually
gonna
stabbed
grab
him.
his wrist to make sure that there's a little bit of his juices coming out of his finger.
Didn't we do this in Alien?
What's going
Jeff, how many
on?
juices are coming out of my
Little
finger?
pricks and juices coming out. Oh God. Yeah, I think this does sound like an alien thing. Didn't it end up infecting you too?
infected
Uh-huh.
everybody doing it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I remember
well.
this. What comes
Jesus,
out when she slices you, Zenobe?
I would say from my hand, it would just be regular blood.
Okay, that's what happens.
What was that for? As if things weren't shit enough with him talking the whole time, and I just point over to nowhere.
Who?
That bastard that keeps telling me to kill Esme.
Now you should kill this one. This one attacked you. Yes. Drown this one. Shove it into the water and hold it till it no longer kicks.
And at this point, I realized that I left my pouch in the fountain. So I reach back down and grab it, and I empty it out, and I just drop the mice in the fountain. And then I just start going to my bag and start putting my coat on. I refill the pouch with what was in it. Just getting geared back up.
What happens to... Did you drown them?
Oh, well, mice can't breathe water.
Yeah.
It's okay. They understand. It was so I could hear Zenobe better.
You drowned your mice, and you just laid in the water for over an hour. Who does that?
I just raised my hand.
Well, put your hand down. I know it was you.
Blood's trickling down from the cut.
Esme? I'm gonna holler for everybody to come over.
And Esme will trot along. Oh, he's up! He's up! Oh, what happened? As I immediately see that your hand is bleeding.
Who cares
She
about his
cut me.
hand? Look in the water.
You
Oh.
don't look any
You
better.
must be so sad. As she puts her hand on Zenobe's shoulder.
I just do the awkward, lean back.
You must be
What's
so
the
sad.
big fuss?
Oh, well, Zenobe and Zenobe's dead.
Yeah, but now I can hear Zenobe.
Oh, there's another one. She kind of looks, but it doesn't really see the other rat because that's what she thinks.
Zenobe is the one.
Oh, well, I don't know. All I know is I'm not the one who's so far away.
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah. So,
No, I'm not going to kill her right now.
of course not.
You
Would
could kill both of
you
them right now.
join us?
Just like the rat.
And you, Zelina, we shouldn't be stabbing each other.
It wasn't a stab. It was a prick.
We shouldn't be pricking each other? Okay. Yes. Come this way.
I'll finish putting my gear on and follow.
Okay.
And I will follow right behind him.
Okay. Zenobe, you get led over to these concrete golems, I'm assuming. Is that where we're going? Or
Yeah.
do something else.
And I'll be like, Zenobe, meet
Shale.
Shale. Oh, that's good. And Limestone?
Well, Limestone's that guy right there. You see, he's the one that's prying apart. That's we call him Limey.
Oh, is that Granite?
No, Granite is a real douche, so we kind of left him in the tunnel somewhere.
Okay, I did forget your name. What's your name, Tim?
Me, I'm Shale.
Shale. Okay. So, Shale meet Zenobe. Zenobe meet Shale. And
Hello. Your spirit is tangled like a knot we have not seen before.
Yeah. Okay,
the-
thanks.
they're gonna
Does
get the
it
knots
hurt?
out.
Does what hurt?
Well, that.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you. What was that?
You should kill
I'm
all
busy
of them
right now.
Just drown
Yes,
every one of them.
Go ahead, Malik.
Zenobe, your queen is worried about you. I'm not sure if you've seen your face of late, but you are not fully yourself. Because you are so important to her, she asked me to be your humble servant in the hopes of finding a way to bring you back to being whole.
You spoke to the drowned queen?
In the sanctuary that you opened for us.
She's talking to you and not to me?
You are not whole at the moment. You took in memories of her that were not your own. But she loves you, and she wants you to be whole so that she can talk to you.
Blasphemer.
What does this have to do with the rock guy?
He can try to make you whole once again so that your queen will speak with you once more.
You ever get a Charlie horse?
I don't have a horse.
You ever get a muscle cramp?
I stay pretty well hydrated.
That you do. But when you get a muscle cramp or when you get a knot, sometimes it's good to have someone else work it out.
Have you ever seen a ball of yarn? Your spirit is like that, except worse.
I'll turn to the nothingness. Are these guys for real?
Not one presumes to know the will of the drowned queen. Blasphemer. Dares to speak
What about the
for
rock
her.
guy?
I don't know, he seems cool.
All right, so my friend here seems to hate everyone except you. And that really throws me off. There's something weird about you, man. Talking to the rock guy.
About me? I get that a lot. It's probably because it's hard to read my facial expressions. Really, my eyes can get bigger, but other than that, I am just a emotionless piece of rock where my mouth moves.
All right, what can you do
assure
for me?
though, I can untangle that which has become tangled within your mind. There is but a 4% chance that it will result in your complete and utter annihilation.
4%? What?
Yes.
You can't give me odds better than that? Like 20, 30?
Are you saying you would like to suffer total annihilation?
I'm just saying 4%'s not very much.
That is the chance that something bad will happen. 96% chance something good will happen, assuming that which is untangled is a good person. I do not know you, but these people seem to care about you. I don't know if you are like Limey or like Granite. I hope you are like Limey.
All right, you're saying a lot of numbers. He's saying a lot of numbers just to confuse me. Let's just do it. Let's get it done.
Okay, close your eyes. This will hurt. I mean, this will not hurt. I don't know, really.
So they take both their hands, these huge, big old stone hands, 3 fingers, put them on either side, and the rest of you watch as, like, they just do one of those, like, kind of squeeze into Zenobe's head ever so slightly, and, like, it seems like nothing's happening at first, but then as they begin to pull their hands back, you all watch as it seems like almost like glowing, sticky pink gum gets, like, pulled out of the ears of Zenobe, and it's all, like, awfully and horribly tangled, and eventually just, like, popping out from the front of Zenobe's face, like it's just shifting right through the face. It's now a long string with this huge tangled kind of ball of twine. And as this is all happening, everything's kind of glowing white. Zenobe, your eyes, I presume, are closed. But you feel like just this sudden void, like this, you've you've forgotten everything. Like there's just nothing at all. You don't. The voices are gone. Like your memory of the drowned queen is gone. Your memory of how to open your eyes is gone. You kind of stumble around a bit as your legs are unfamiliar with the whole concept of standing. And a few, I guess, I'm assuming the rest of you kind of help steady him. But then, like this shale just begins to sort of shift and move their hands around. And over the course of like a good 45 minutes is just like kind of untangling every little bit until it's just this nice, long, kind of smooth, glowing piece of big league chew that they thread into the ear of Zenobe, and just very, very keenly, more precise than you would imagine such a huge chunky fingers could do, just thread all of it kind of back into Zenobe's ear. And then Zenobe, little by little, your memories of your life start coming back to you, but they're coming back to you in perfect chronological order, as if the first memory you had as a child, the second memory, the third, and every memory that you've had in perfect chronological order begins to reset back. So you have a full spread of your entire life, where everything went wrong, when you met the drowned queen, when things got better, when you made it to the Bleeding Hollow, and then finally you hear like, "I am done," and like a tap against your cheeks, and your life has returned to you. You may
Super
open
important
your
question.
eyes. Yeah.
Do I still not remember when I met Esme?
You still, that was taken out separately, so it's not there anymore.
Right,
That
right.
whole,
Okay,
that's not
just
there.
just
so
want
it's
to
no
make sure.
longer, yeah. You don't see everything from your life. You see everything you remember from your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so you still do not remember when you met Esme.
Does that turn major fallout into minor, or does it clear it?
What that'll do is it'll downgrade. Yeah. So this will serve as essentially a downgrade. So take your major, go down to minor.
All right. Do you decide what minor echo I have then, or do I?
What did I call the other one?
Cult is what I'm getting rid of here. I've got
Okay.
2 of them.
I would say this called deja vu. Let's go deja vu minor, as like you're continuing to have like memories are continuing to like kind of echo in your brain for a bit. It's not always unpleasant as you begin to remember your life better, but it's distracting at times.
Holy shit! What a rush!
It is done.
Wait!
What?
He shut up.
Shale's looking at you all like,
I don't understand what is happening here.
Zenobe, do you know what you did to your mice? Or rats? Or little furry friends? Whatever they were.
Oh, that has nothing to do with this. The guy's gone. I do still, however, have the thing hanging from my forehead and like the circuitry veins going on.
the physical stuff is there, but it's no longer bleeding. That sort of like spectral essence is no longer spitting out.
How do you feel?
It's a lot quieter. I appreciate that. That guy was really grinding my gears.
Well, I'm glad that that guy is no longer bothering you, even though I couldn't see him.
Have I met you before?
Yes, silly. It's Esme.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I turned to the rock guy. You did me a huge favor. What do I owe you?
Nothing. The challenge was enough, but if there is any tools or items you have that will help to untangle, we will gladly take them.
I take out a soaking wet pouch and upend it in front of him, and a D8 raw machinery resource comes out.
Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, yes, we could perhaps repurpose this into a tool. I believe this is fair trade.
Whew. And I start itching at my face a little bit.
You might
Never
want
seemed
to-
so quiet before. Now I just hear Zenobe.
You might want to get a cream for that. There are vending machines with various items that might be of use to you on the far side of the station.
All right, I'll check it out.
Well,
Goodbye. I must return to my duties now.
Goodbye, Shale. Thank you so much.
I appreciate your assistance.
Thank you.
Glad to be of service.
That tooth looks good on you.
Thank you. I am very proud of it. Look, all of them have one. We will try to get a second. So everyone, they're all snaggletooth concrete golems now.
Well, if I ever find any more, I know where to take them.
Yes, we will look forward to our meeting again with more teeth.
Yeah. All right. So we have helped out Zenobe, and we know where to go. I mean, don't get so excited, everybody.
No, you're right. We do know the way. Do we want to rest here for a bit, recover before we continue on?
Oh, yeah. Do you need any help?
I've got some blood fallouts. I can handle some myself, but a little time wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I can't do anything about blood fallout, but I can do blood stress, and I can do mind fallout.
Well,
No, but
then
if you do go check those vending machines, you will notice that it is like there's this what look like a vending area, and there is a vending machine with a handful of items that look like it's like they look like stims and sedatives. So this is another haunt. This would basically is up to D8. You can heal of either blood or mind.
And then what does it cost to get rid of a fallout?
It's the same. It's the same deal, except it's going to it just degrades it. So major comes down to minor, down to nothing. So you have to basically donate the resource to downgrade it, donate another resources to get rid.
So does it take a D6 for a?
Yeah, D6 would be good. I would take. I think it's D6. It might be D8. D6 is fine. I don't really. I'm not gonna look it up.
Malik, if you're looking to get rid of some minor fallout, if you join me in prayer, I can resolve one of those for you.
I would appreciate that. Malik's body is just battered, I think was the condition. He looks like somebody just threw him in a bag and beat him against a wall.
I love prayer. I'll join you.
Very well.
Yeah, might as well.
And I can also do mind fallout too. Okay, cool. So yeah, anyone who wants to join in the prayer, you can get rid of one mind or blood, or you can downgrade one mind or blood.
Oof, so nice.
So I am going to get rid of one of my blood fallouts.
There it is.
Oh, I'm going to get rid of that one. Also, I want to find some time to sneak away and ask Bob.
Blobby.
Bobby, my bad. Head in this direction. Is it the correct one?
Oh, jeez, it's so hard to tell. They all look the same, you know. They all look.
They do.
You know, some of them look different than others. You know what? I'll just hitch a ride with you for a while if that's cool.
That's
Is that
what
all
I
right?
figured you were going to do until we can find your body.
Yeah, that's right. Find my body. Yeah, absolutely. Find Bobby's body. That's the quest.
Very well.
Definitely that.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right. And so for using the vending machines, we spend a resource and then roll that same number to get.
Yeah, if you're healing stress, it's roll. If you're downgrading fallout, there's no roll. You just downgrade.
I'll trade in my fortune cards because I want to get rid of another blood fallout as well.
Okay. Do your healing, whatever it is, and just whenever you're ready to head out, just let me know.
Celine has been staring at Zenobe this whole time.
I'm just
So-
itching at my face.
Are you just going to leave them in the fountain?
I might be able to offer some guidance to you in this, Zelina. Sometimes communing with one's deity requires a price to be paid, and that's what I believe the mice were. And that's what they always were. Am I correct in that, Zenobe?
Zenobe and Zenobe are a part of Zenobe now.
So you're saying that Zenobe and Zenobe are not actually dead, but have been taken into the greater Zenobe, into something greater?
I mean, they are dead.
You're not helping. You're on your own. Zelina, do what you need to do.
Are you just going to leave them in the fountain?
It's where they're closest to the drowned queen.
So like a water burial?
If you want to call it a burial. They're in water.
They sure are.
I can understand that by your standards, this is a most holy way to leave them.
Does anyone have any pliers I can get this thing out of my head?
I have a knife. I'd be willing to assist you in that.
Jaws of
I
life.
too have a knife.
Oh, we do have the
I
jaws of
step
life.
towards Luscious and away from Zelina.
I have a pickaxe.
I have my
I-
claws.
Maybe I'll wait.
Actually, the claws don't seem like a terrible idea. Get in underneath of it and just pull it out.
Flattens and everything. You can do that if you want.
It's all right. I'll pass.
I promise it would only hurt a little bit.
It would just be a slight incision on my part.
Take another step away from Zelina.
All right. So do we want to head out to Grun Station? Is that the next course of
I'm
action?
good to
Yeah.
All right.
And here I thought we were doing surgery.
Yeah. Anyway, let's hit the road before this becomes any more awkward.
So you hop up onto that train track that kind of appears in the middle of nowhere. You have to climb for a bit. It's almost like a monkey bars for a bit, and then you kind of pull yourselves up, and you're able to climb into this tunnel in the middle of the wall, and you kind of begin this undulating kind of roller coaster up and down and up and down, but still all of it kind of seeming to burrow deeper and deeper. Those of you who do delve stuff before we leave, this is the start of a delve, a new one. So if you want to do something, do it now. Usual stuff, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you still willing to assist me, Lucius?
Of course, yes.
I thank you greatly.
I'll take an hour or two to
Yeah.
make preparations, and we'll do the trusty tag on one piece of delve equipment, and we'll do because we probably needed it from last time, +1 blood protection as well. As
Okay.
I tell you guys to toughen up.
Nice. Okay. Success from Malik. So +1 on delve rolls, I believe. Is that correct?
Based on stress we inflict. And plus everybody gets the hunt skill or mastery if you already had it.
Perfect. So that we'll say that happens during like the kind of the undulation things. We're prepping. It's fairly simple. It's like up and down, nothing too extraordinary. Very dark. Some mage lights that flicker on here and there. Eventually, though, you feel like a great amount of heat during one of the depressions, and you come up to a hill and you look down and you see this entire chamber, this undulating tunnel that you're going down. There apparently some kind of gas pipe has burst, and you just see this massive wall of fire, of flame. This sort of blue flame just rips across the tracks, kind of blocking the path forward. This is not only is this a difficulty for you, but those of you with any sort of tech knowledge would know that like coursing through these pipes that are broken is like this unending supply. So it's unlikely that this thing is gonna burn itself out if you just wait a while. You could potentially just like kind of rush through it and risk that. But if you actually wanted to sit down and take some time and try to kind of repair this thing or stem off the pipe. It could actually make this path easier for any other travelers if Shale and his people decide to leave and come down. So if you wanted to try to create a connection here, it would require some kind of mending or repair on the pipe to move forward.
I'm always in favor of connections. So
I'm always in favor of fixing things that are broken because I can't fix myself.
Oh, jeez.
all right, yeah. So I'll help assist if Esme wants to do a mend on it.
Yeah, what's going on?
So this is, you're just establishing a connection. So all this really, so a connection just, there's a couple different types, but like you did one before by killing the big monster. This one is just you increase the resistance a little bit because you're taking extra time to fix this. But the role that you're about to do is just to make the connection, not to actually wear the delve down. So it's men tech to do this.
Okay.
I would like to assist in that, I think. Yes, I have the men skill. I will assist you in this. It sounds worthwhile.
So Dante and Luscious.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Okay.
What do
critical
triplet
success.
powers activate?
All right.
Nice.
So we'll say this. What I'll do is for the critical success is I'll decrease the amount that this adds to the resistance. So instead of it being like a +4 to like the length of the resistance, we'll shrink it to like a +2. As the few of you that are working on this are able to, first of all, you're able to avoid the heat that's pulsing out from this, and secondly, you're able, probably with some of your spare parts that you might have laying around, create a patch for the broken pipe, so that no longer is there is this explosion of this blue flame. And after a little bit of time, you're able to kind of get it. You're sure that it's not going to just immediately burst. You can kind of feel the warmth in the pipe. The light of the tunnel gets almost pitch black at that point once the flame goes away, but otherwise the path ahead is clear, easy to move. You continue for a bit, and you eventually start hearing the sounds of I would say is who here's a witch? I think Zelina's a witch. Which you would recognize Zelina, like the sounds of kind of familiar rituals of like a coven. And when you kind of crest down one of these huge like hills, and you look down, you can see at the sort of what looks like on one of these side platforms of this train, you can see there's a group of about a dozen strange looking women that are kind of almost like they're like cyborg witches, like half robotic parts, like replaced arms and what looks like kind of replaced sections of their face. But the rest of them, you can see like that sort of familiar staining of somebody who has been dealing with the kind of the blood disease that witches have been dealing with for quite some time. And you see as they're standing on top of the platform, like these strange kind of dancing colors begin to form over top of the track, and it just looks like the inverse of shale and the concrete golems. They're just creating this sort of mangled section of track and concrete and stone, as it almost looks like they're trying to collapse this path forward into this tangled pretzel. And this is what you see when you kind of move down the hill. You can kind of see them up ahead, and it threatens safe passage through because you might get caught up in that weird trans-dimensional tangling of tracks. How do you want to handle this?
I will approach the group cautiously, but put out a familiar greeting to them.
Okay. You come up as like this, they're casting, and you can see one of those strange kind of technical eyes kind of turns over towards you, like shifts out in a direction, not the same direction that their normal eye is looking, as their normal eye seems to still focus on the casting happening at hand. But the sort of Terminator eye shifts towards you, and you just hear like this scratchy voice.
Hello, sister. What brings you this way?
Well, we are trying to go this way. Looks like you're making a mess of things, though. Is there a reason for that?
We are ensuring no passage in this direction. There is a pocket of terrible energy ahead that if the wrong hands tap into it, catastrophe could befall all of the Vermissian.
That does sound troubling.
Yeah.
Where is it? Just so we can avoid it.
Eye kind of turns over, and you can see it's now staring over at Zenobe.
You are not alone. You have brought others.
And
I didn't
Couple of them
mean to
kinda-
bring that one, but yes.
That one seems... its aura is... refreshed.
and it starts zooming over all of you, kind of making this like quick summarial judgments. Lands on Dante.
Oh, a hunter.
Eyes focusing on you, Dante.
Your bunker lies near. Do you travel there?
Sorry, what was that?
So they turn to you and they say,
The bunker of your kind, the regiment, lies near. Do you travel there?
I mean, if there's hounds here, yeah, I'm always willing to meet up with them.
They are forever and always trying to undo that which they failed to do before. I am sure you will come across them in time.
Yeah. Always
Eyes.
willing to meet up with the hounds. They're always trying to keep back, the
Avoid
darkness.
the wounded. They walk and walk, and nothing seems to tire their movements. Some of your kind are beyond saving. Remember that.
Yeah. We do what needs to be done.
keep shifting over. They like land on Malik.
Oh. A fallen one? Here. Curious. You have... the stench of a deity on you. Foul. Oh, it is. Pungent.
They just kind of stare at you hard. Their eyes like glowing really bright with that kind of Terminator light. Kind of begins to illuminate the area a bit. Keeps going. Settles like on Luscious. Luscious. God damn it. I keep doing that. Every time I see your name, I want to say Luscious.
Luscious.
Luscious Lucius.
Looks at Lucius like,
Yeah.
and like you watch as the eyes kind of flicker and go crazy.
Heretic of meat and bark.
Yes.
You are welcome here.
Thank you.
I pity what will become of your devotion when the verm comes for its retribution.
I don't like the sound of that. Anything that comes for the tree will have to kill me first.
No, it basks in the center of the heart, incubating, waiting. An angel of destruction it is.
And its eyes kind of turn towards Malik when she says that, and then back towards Lucius again.
In time. In time.
And kind of continues shifting, like focuses on Esma at this time.
Hi, I'm Esme.
Yeah, I've got nothing for you.
No. Yeah, she looks at you and she says, even now, your bees devour you from the inside out. Soon, you will be nothing left but the bees themselves. Such is nature, such is the way.
Well, you're not lying.
I never lie.
So, do you have any idea as to what I could do about that?
Embrace the end. Make it glorious, for it is inevitable.
Oh, so what I'm already doing. Okay.
Yes, you seem cool. Really down to earth and friendly.
Well, I must admit, I am constantly torn between two very different motivations.
What is the choice?
To break free or to become part of it.
Give in, always. Release. It is the better path. To break away is to amputate part of oneself. That is a terrible thing to do. Such mutilation. Trust me.
She holds up like this mechanical arm, kind of gestures to her mechanical face.
Replacing, breaking away. No. Give in to the sickness.
Guess I could get down with it.
Yes, I set you up for that one, you son of a bitch. Anyhow, you must turn back. You cannot come this direction. Back you go.
But we need to. We need to go to
I
Black Spire.
said no, damn it. You are all a very curious number.
So, do you think we could just like pass through and not go through what you're worried about if we promise? I'll even pinky swear.
Pinky swear you would dare invoke such a sacred vow?
Yes, I would, because we need to go through, and I understand you're worried that somebody that shouldn't go through this portal would go through. We can all hold his hands, and we'll be fine.
Roll a compel occult.
Okay, so
I'll assist
And
with the-
anyone, you're all there, so anyone can assist.
Can I work against him?
Oh no! Oh no!
Can I take away a D10?
well, so what's interesting is this is a social interaction.
Yeah.
As the bees are crawling out of my open wounds, so it's going to be risky.
Risky.
And so it's going to be compel and
Compel occult.
Okay, occult.
Yeah, you're dealing with witches, so pretty standard.
Yep. I know about the occult, so we're good there.
Who is assisting? Who's helping with
Dante's
this?
going to assist. He'll say,
Okay.
I'll hold her to it.
You'll hold her to holding him?
I'll hold Esme to her promise.
Ah.
Hounds are a dutiful lot. Perhaps sisters.
You hear them like start to whisper in some weird kind of like witch speak, and you can tell, Zelina, that they're just sort of arguing amongst themselves whether to let you go or not. You want to roll it up then, there, Esme?
Yep.
Go for it. Standard's fine. There you go. And the eyes turn back towards
Did you
Dante.
say standard or risky?
It's risky for Esme
Okay.
because of a Fallout. So
Okay.
it would have been standard, so it's just, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, you drop the 10, but you get the 9. And they turn to Dante.
We will hold you responsible, Hound. If you think the fate of your regiment is deranged, that fate will be a wonder to behold for you should you betray our trust. We will do things to you and yours that you would very much, not like.
Roll, Esme, roll a d6. Actually, do you have anything for compel? Like for delving, it's a d4 actually. It's roll a d4 plus 1 from Malik, and then that's like the resistance reduction. So d4 plus 1.
So me?
Yeah, because you're the one who made the success. That's what we'll roll.
Yeah, you made the roll.
Okay. All right.
I'm awesome.
So you see, like they kind of stop their chanting for a moment, and like while the tunnel doesn't go back to like normal, at the very least it stops. It's twisting, and you can see this like this strange path going through, and yeah.
Go now. Go careful.
Okay. Well,
Thank you kindly.
we have to live to our word as she holds out her hand towards Zenobe.
I'm definitely not taking your hand.
Well,
She promised. You have
I
to.
promised, and I am not a liar. Now you can hold someone else's hand, but
I'm not a hand holder, and I didn't make any promise.
You can hold my hand.
yes, one or the other.
I want to hold your hand.
Can we just like go as a group without holding hands?
Oh, come on, aren't we friends?
No?
Oh, that's
Here, I thought you were best friends.
well, not best. I don't have best. There's no such thing as best because we're all friends.
You can have many best friends.
Oh, then you're all my best friends. Yes.
Anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I pushed them along. Come on now, class. Yeah. Come on now.
So as you all are kind of leaving one by one of the witches will like reach out and just grab Malik on the arm, just like this firm like metal grip, and will like pull you close, and will just say,
You have failed many times. Many, many times, Cleaver. Will you fail again?
and like just takes this sort of slimy other hand that you can see the flesh is sort of writhing in pain from like that sort of the blood curse, and just wipes their palm across your eyes, and when their hand comes across, it's almost like a band of like sludge red, and your eyes are kind of get folded up in it, and like you kind of start squinting, you can't really see. When you open up your eyes, you just see in front of you like this place, this strange contoured broken church of some kind. It looks familiar to you, like there are pieces of it that seem like stained glass, stone, but it's all twisted and broken. You see what looks like people milling about. This is all kind of happening like overlaid on top of that which is behind you. It's almost like holographic to you in your eyes. And you begin to recognize like people, like you're like the figure looks similar, but they're hunched over and twisted. The robes that they're wearing that sort of designate like their order are torn and tattered and sort of ripped apart. You can see like this steeple is kind of inverted and kind of plunged in, like it's stabbing the earth beneath it, and almost like this mindless array of people are kind of milling about, lost, still trying to worship, but like in this sort of demented capacity that kind of makes no sense. And you see like this form of graffiti like on one side of the wall of this sort of strange curling creature that moves, and you realize in horror that it actually looks like a giant, gross, hideous worm kind of devouring the church itself. And then you blink and your eyes kind of, while burning, kind of flickers off. Fail again, and your compatriots will suffer a similar fate. They just kind of recede back away in this sort of reverent backstep.
Thank you. And then that's it. Just walk
Okay.
away.
Okay. So you continue onward. Malik, perhaps quiet and pissed off behind. And as you move, you kind of you. It's a relatively straight shot. Like what you've been told is fairly accurate. Like you don't see all of these. You don't see like branching paths. You do see occasional like auxiliary doors and tunnels that doesn't carry the track with it, but it looks more like pedestrian movements. But at a certain point, you notice like in the center. And this is after a couple of hours after the witch. You notice like right there in the center of the track, you just see like this group of people. They look like burn victims, like these horrible like 3rd-degree burns just covering their body, and you see them kind of milling about, and as you get close they begin to sort of flock to you, and like to the point where they're like pulling and clinging at your arms, at your pockets, and they just help me, help food, water, anything. And whenever they touch you, like you feel like the heat almost exude off them and begin to kind of singe the hairs off your arms if they're bare, or they actually cause like a small little sort of soot stain on your clothes. And they're just sort of blocking the way path, and every time you try to move they just cling to the point where you feel like you're actually getting caught up in this mob. What do you guys like to do?
If you all stand back, I can see if I can heal some of your wounds.
Okay, go for it. Roll, was it probably going to be, in this case, it's going to be mend, obviously. In terms of domain, cursed.
Okay.
You poor things. As May will assist.
Okay.
Yeah. Dante will try helping him out. If that doesn't work, he'll get mean. But
Okay.
No.
That was awesome.
wow,
No.
That was amazing.
that was impressive.
Let's do that again.
5 dice. You got a 4.
Only 5. Only 5.
It's because Zenobe didn't help.
I
We
must
would have
have.
gotten
There you
that.
go. That's
Yeah,
what
that
it
would have
is.
been the 10. Yeah.
Sorry, what just happened? Sorry, I was miles away.
Or
Yeah, I failed.
You failed. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So as you reach out with your heretical magic, you begin to like chant. You go through like the sort of the various meat tree, I don't know, incantations, I suppose, and you notice that it has like no effect whatsoever. And in fact, whenever you like kind of reach out and try to like lay a hand on a wound, you pull it back and you realize that your own hand now has similar, like the palm itself has similar wounds, and you're gonna take blood. So this will be a little stress. I think I just rolled from there. We are now in, I think we're in tier 3 now. That's a D8. You take 6 points of stress, of blood stress, as your hand has got like 3rd-degree burns on it. And then I think I can do it from here. I don't know. Maybe. Let me roll fallout. Okay.
Ooh.
You suffer major fallout as your hand is terribly and utterly covered in burns. So we'll just say anything that requires, 2 hands or a spell or something like that, it's going to be made at risky. We'll just call it that for now.
Okay, cool.
All right. So they just this also just seems to irritate them even further as they begin to sort of swarm and like, false, get the false heretic or whatever, and they're still kind of blocking your path forward. Dante, did you say you wanted to get violent, or was there somebody else who had another idea?
I was gonna do the whole like have your rifle and like starting like pushing back, like all right, make a path, as
I think you can treat this a couple different ways. I could see a case for compel. I can see it because it's like it doesn't sound like you're fully attacking them, you're just kind of shoving them or intimidating them.
Right.
So are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with compel.
Compel cursed.
Can I perhaps assist?
Of course.
I'll always take assists.
I have compel now. I also have some protective plating from that beast, which I might put up similar to like a SWAT shield, trying to push them forward.
Nice. I like it.
And when Esme receives damage, the bees start like swarming out and around looking for whatever's attacking the hive, which is now her body. So I'll go ahead and assist as well.
Okay.
Sweet.
Chuck, was someone assisting you, by the way, on the heal? Yeah,
Oh,
some
yeah.
other people, you got to take that
So-
too.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. So a question on that. I had just marked 5 blood. And then I think when you hit the thing, it also threw 5 blood on there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then it wouldn't have been fallout. You would have taken the stress, but so you should have taken. You have blood protection, I assume. Blood.
I had 1 point of blood, so
Alright,
I
so
took 5.
Then
Yeah.
you're good. Yeah, there's no
Okay.
then no fallout.
Okay, cool. I will make sure not to do that manually.
All right, so Dante, Malik, you start shoving around. Esme, you give a hand as well, and you start just kind of pushing through, and they're grabbing at you. It's sad, but also a little terrifying. Is every time they grab you, you just feel like these little burns, and you kind of keep them off you until the point where you're able to sort of make a like a hole between the crowd and kind of push through, and eventually you kind of get everyone through. At that point, you start ascending up this steep track incline and get to the very top, kind of freeing yourselves of this crowd. Dante, you can roll stress +1.
Okay.
So were you using any of the equipment did you just recently
You know what?
got?
Yeah, we'll say I was using my new mining pick to like
To swing it around.
shove people out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that too.
Instead of a-
D6 +1, I think. Yeah.
All right. Let's roll that D6. So 4
Plus
plus
one, so-
1 is 5.
All right, so 5. Very good. So you hustle past, right? And so you all actually start running as you see them begin to lumber after you. But you're able to easily outpace them as they seem to be very, very hurt. As you continue to run, you're still kind of doing that sort of undulating path, but you start to notice at a certain point that it begins to sort of turn on itself, and you find yourselves for certain patches running on the side of the wall. You start to get this weird vertigo moment that seems to be happening here as you're not sure, as the gravity of these tunnels begins to start kind of shifting, and then like you hop, and then suddenly you twist and you turn, and you're kind of on the ceiling, and then you're on the side, and it becomes this swirling, kind of dizzying path forward. You also notice that inlaid on a lot of these tracks, you see these glowing runes that as you kind of move past them, they begin to kind of light up, and then they kind of flicker out as you pass by. And maybe as like you slow a bit, kind of staring at them, you hear like this shout coming from looks like this hold out section of the wall, not anything formal, just like this horrible, like mangled section of the wall. And you watch as this huge ball comes flying out of the hole and explodes right on top of all of you. Everybody go ahead and make an evade test. This is going to be evade cursed, and this is going to be made at risky.
Success at a cost.
All right. Malik looks good. Lucius looks good.
Critical success.
Zenobe is going to take some. Okay, Zelina's no good. All right. So, Zelina, you're going to take... I'm going to work up from the bottom. You take 8 points of mental stress. As this thing explodes, it doesn't physically hurt you all. Like you don't feel any sort of explosion that happened, but your brains almost melt as not just is this gravity starting to twist and turn, but the colors are shifting and changing. And you also feel like this strange pressure beginning to peel down onto your head. So I'm going to roll for Dante. Same thing. So Dante take 4 points of stress. Same thing, mental. Esme, you are taking 2 stress. Malik and Lucius, you both critically succeeded. You look great, no problems whatsoever. As you managed to probably get to cover, the two of you dodge before this thing actually lands. Zenobe, you kind of follow their lead, but you're a little bit slower than they are, and you kind of get the tail end of this sort of explosion. And instead of taking like the full stress for this, you can take half. So just go ahead and take like 2 points of stress.
You said mind, right?
Yeah, it's all mind. As all of you are just feeling this like intense confusion. It's just this tunnel has just become mind-boggling in a very literal fashion. I'm gonna roll 1 fallout die for everybody. So this is D12, your total fallout, etc. It's a 6. So remember, count up all your stress. And then whoever, let me know whoever is getting fallout.
I am.
Okay.
I would be at 16 from mind.
Oh dear. Yeah, you're getting fallout.
Yeah.
You're getting fallout. Okay. Anybody else? So just Esme and Zelina right now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we're gonna call this.
Oh, sorry, 14.
Yeah, it's still gonna be. You can wipe. You're gonna take major, I think. We're gonna call it because I know that's one of your beats. Esme. So Esme and Zelina. Sorry, I'm looking for where I put my stuff here, and I cannot find it. Okay. You're both going to take. Yeah, I think you're both going to take shaken, as you are absolutely, utterly confused. And what we're going to say is this is going to be kind of ongoing for a bit, and the two of you just start running kind of at full speed away from the fallen Zenobe, Lucius and Malik laying on the ground, kind of dodge out of the way, Dante as well. And the two of you just start kind of screaming at the top of your lungs, running off. And because everyone's just kind of seeing this strange shift of color, and because the tunnel is kind of twisting and turning upon itself, you all quickly lose track of where Esme and Zelina just ran off to. In the middle of this nonsensical tunnel, they just disappear. You hear them screaming, and eventually their voices just dissipate. So what do you all want to do? It's some sort of strange device just triggered as you're running past. And you've just lost 2 of your own.
We have to find them.
What in tarnation was that?
some form of trap. Maybe that is what the witches warned us about.
You're muted.
Who's muted?
Sorry, I was coughing out some of the dust when I hit the floor. Even when they tread upon strange ground, they'll still leave a mark. We can still try to track them.
Yeah, we can try hunting them down.
Yeah.
We can't leave them.
I mean, did they go back that way or did they go that way?
Can we still hear their screaming and stuff?
It's echoing all around you. It's so weird. You can't quite get a peek in. I think this is probably going to end up being a hunt roll, is what we're after here. So I'll probably hunt Warren because we're in kind of a tunnel, or I'll take Tech too since it's a train station or train tunnel.
I've got Mastery and Hunt, and I've got Warren.
I'll assist hunt.
I have neither of those, but if I can assist by the rules, I will.
Yeah, you need a
I don't have
skiller.
either either.
You need a skiller to main. So.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I don't.
Your flavor
Yeah,
assist.
you have Hunt.
Do I have?
Oh yeah. You got
Yeah,
it from.
We
Everyone
do have
has
a hunt for the
Union.
delve, don't we? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has Hunt.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Zenobe, you should help too.
I mean, we don't have to find them, right? All right, I'll help.
Okay. It's going to be a ton of stuff.
Oh god.
Oh my god, that's a lot of dice.
I would hope we succeed.
Total,
Okay. So you start kind of looking around on the ground as the lights begin to sort of settle. Your eyes are starting to come back to you. The vertigo is all of you are kind of suffering it. It doesn't really seem like it's something it's something like more in tune to this patch of track. Like there's something is quite not tuned to the way in which this. It's almost as if the sort of the echo version of this place is detached itself from the physical version, and it's causing this strange shifting. But the lights begin to fade a bit, and you can't really hear them, but you do see the signs of like fresh tracks. You do see the signs of various debris that probably was left in their wake as they've dropped a few things from their packs along the way. And you're able to kind of wander off, and you eventually find them, probably, in about 20 minutes or so as they went like full sprint, full speed. And you see them both laying down in the middle of what looks like this circular opening where looks like 4 different tracks intersect. One of them is the one you're on. One of them is kind of coming in sort of a perpendicular fashion. And one of them is coming vertically straight down. And another one just seems to kind of open midair and then disappear into this other kind of portal on the other side. But you see them laying down in the ground, and there's this huge circular glowing rune that seems to sort of block the nexus of this intersection. And as you kind of step towards them to pick them up, all of you just begin to kind of move in this slow motion as you try to reach them. Malik, you get to roll stress, by the way, for the delve if you like.
Okay, D4.
If you don't have anything else, it's D4, then plus your 1.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. 3.
Very good. Very close to the end here. And so, yeah, you see them laying on the ground. You see this slow traps coming out of the field as, like, a few of you, whoever's out in front, and we don't have to designate that just yet, but a few of you kind of already get in it and begin to slow in this, like, dilation sort of field that seems to intersect where all, like, there's no way around it. So how do you all want to handle this?
I'm reading my character sheet.
Yeah, same.
So are we now in control of our characters again?
No, the two of you were going to say until this situation is over. I'm going to
Okay.
say the two of you, your fallout's still ongoing. The good news is that your fallout will likely go away once they are able to get you back.
What's the nature of this like thing that's obstructing us? Like,
It's this huge kind of circular rune that's just sort of spinning around in this section, in the sort of the intersection, the nexus of these different tracks, and it's sort of 2-dimensional, but like it's you can see it kind of spinning and rotating. But as you like walk into this sort of circular or spherical field that it's kind of moving around in, that's when like this this slow happens. You might even notice that like you take a couple steps in, feel yourself slowing, and then maybe one of you pulls the other out. And so all of you are kind of just staring now. Those of you that haven't suffered the fallout are kind of staring at this situation.
You say room or rune?
Rune. Like a circular, think of it like a circular rune that's just sort of shifting and moving about within a sphere.
Okay.
I think I have an idea for perhaps how to damage this rune, which may in turn prevent it from blocking us. Once per session, I can summon forth creatures of a D8 value. And there are those acidic exploding frogs from earlier. I would like to summon forth a horde of acidic exploding frogs to splash themselves across the rune and damage it.
That's awesome.
Do we want to damage it, though? I mean, that could be bad.
That's a fair point.
I mean,
perhaps hasty on my part.
I wouldn't want to ruin the ruin.
Well, I mean, the scientific method says that you don't know until you try. So I think we should just see how it goes.
Well, how about this? Let me try maybe a prayer, rite invoked of the meat tree. Maybe that might get us a little further. And if that doesn't work, we can try yours. And then if that still doesn't work, I have something else I can do. But there's only so much meat I can slice off of myself to make it happen. So,
if he's gonna pray, you better get those frogs ready to go.
I'll try a ritual incantation, just prayer to the meat tree.
Oh boy.
May your sinewy roots come down and put a break on this thing.
Compel religion.
All right. Difficulty?
So are you physically slicing bits of you off?
Not
to
yet.
Sacrifice?
No.
Okay.
No, that's.
It's one of your
plan
abilities.
C.
I don't want to screw you over. Just keep it standard. It's fine. Keep it
Okay. Well, this isn't. I'm not invoking an ability.
This is just.
I'm just a test. Just trying before I start.
I kind of want to
carving
do
my
it
butt off.
risky because, like, if it goes bad, I want you to have to slice other parts of you off because I kind of like where this is going.
I agree with that. So compel religion, risky.
Risky. Okay. So
Yeah.
as you all watch, like Lucius, arms up, robes kind of falling back towards his shoulders as he's invoking the meat tree, you watch as like the bicep of his left arm, his off arm, just sags and begins to droop like this slow drip of honey coming out of a jar. Down and down it goes. And eventually it just rips off the bone and puddles in the ground.
Oh.
Go ahead and take we'll call this one a D6. Take 4 points of stress from that as it pools in the ground. On the bright side, if anybody wanted to scoop that up, there's a D6.
I was just gonna say that.
You got it, Zenobe. Zenobe, you start scooping up the puddle of
I
Lucius's
rummage
bicep.
through my bag for a jar, and I'm already scooping. You're not using this, are you?
No. It's all yours.
And you're good. No fallout, looks like.
Okay.
What's the tag on that resource?
Oh, God. Let's see. It's definitely going to be...
Cursed? It feels
Heretic
cursed.
meat. Cursed. I like that.
I'll take cursed. Yeah, cursed sounds good. Wild.
D6, right?
Yeah, D6 is good. Okay. So that invocation does not seem to have functioned well.
All right. Yeah. It's all yours, Malik.
I'm terribly sorry, Lucius.
Sometimes, things suck. It's fine.
I wish your
so
way
you-
would have worked.
You going to do the frogs?
Yeah, and just basically have them all leap forth.
Okay. So I think what's going to happen is like you go, you kind of you channel, you go through your recall of it, and like nothing happens at first. Like there's kind of like a bit of quiet, and then you start hearing like the sounds of thump, 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 thump. Like this loud echoing gets louder and louder, and you look down one of the train tracks, and you see an army of frogs just leaping over each other, just stumbling in a direction. You see from the other side the same thing. You see from like the portals where like the train tracks are just kind of coming out of nothing. All of a sudden, these groupings of frogs just start raining down to the center of this kind of spherical intersection. And as they enter in the field, they start to explode in slow motion. So you just watch
This is great.
as all these frogs in slow motions begin to erupt, throwing acid left and right. You can see like some of them become, as that rune spins around, explodes, like wrenching that rune apart. You see it begin to kind of flicker, almost like it's like a TV losing power. And then another group comes and explodes, until finally the whole thing just sort of shuts down, and little bits and broken pieces of this physical rune, now that you realize is more like a disc, kind of drop down to shards. Acid rains down in the area, but you see like on the ground, Esme, Zelina are there. You can tell they're breathing as much as they would normally breathe, and you kind of lean in and you can feel that you can move at your normal pace.
Might not be out of line to carry some of these pieces of rune with us.
Yeah, I'll take some as well.
You can take D8 shards of time dilation rune.
Oh Lord.
So we'll say, because we're pretty late, you go ahead. It doesn't matter what you roll for the delve. It was at 2, so with your +1, you're going to
Dante
finish
will
this
do
off.
it. He'll take the lead.
Okay. So as everyone else is picking up Esme and Zelina, kind of waking them back up, kind of filling them in,
Yeah.
you're just like, you get out in front. You're like, on, Tep, on. The 6 of you begin to march down the tunnel, and eventually, after some time with Dante out in front, the tunnel opens up, and you look out and you see that you have reached a station. As the delve is over, you see around you and this sort of distant sound of like carnival music playing. You see what looks like some kind of groupings of like billboards and things that are advertising attractions and rides, and you realize you have reached Grin Station. And we'll end it there. I think we'll end right there on that. All right.
Okay.
Let's check your beats. Dante, we're still working on that save, the Haven, but you did get the second, so we'll say the second. We were in 2 or 3. Esme, you didn't take Major Echo, did you?
No, that one's already done.
Oh, sorry.
I took it last time.
Okay. What was the second one that you had tonight?
Gain insight from a witch or a hearts-blooded person.
Yeah, you're good on that. But what was the other beat?
Visit 3 Vermissian Stations.
Okay,
Haven't
yeah.
done
So
that
you
yet.
got the witch one. The witch one's done. And you're up to 2
Which one?
stations now. The receive insight from a witch, a heart's blood person, or something
I'm
stranger.
sorry. I'm sorry, Jess.
Okay, that's fine. Luscious established a connection on a delve.
I helped with that.
Yep. Acquire a renowned piece of equipment. I think you got that interesting gear from the Jaws of Life, we'll say.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Take
Malik, you had that weird vision from the witch. Witness firsthand the tragic extent of your failings. Didn't get the second one done yet. We're getting there. Zelina, you should have gotten the Fallout one done. And then Zenobe.
I got my long ritual to name the heart.
Yeah, and you had a heart's blood transfusion thing going on. That's what was happening. It was kind of so I think you're good on both of them.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think you're good there. Okay, so let's do some closing plugs. Let's do a round table. We'll end on Adam. So we'll start with Jeremy. Jeremy, plug this Patreon.
Yeah, Aaron Reese on Patreon. You get comics, art, RPG assets. Check it out.
Yeah. Steven, what the hell are we doing tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night on twitch.tv/Steam Steal and Murder. Steam Steal Murder. We will be playing some Shadowrun using the Champions Now system.
Yeah. Jen, is there anything you would like to plug?
We are just getting ready for Gen Con, and I'm sure there'll be more information coming from other people.
Okay. Mike, are you one of those other people who has something to say?
Yeah. Check us out at Gen Con if you're going to be there. It's going to be great.
Cool. Chuck?
Oh, DOK. Yeah, I'll be hanging out tomorrow night for some Shadowrun. But then Wednesday, we'll be doing some Thunder Rift using the Fantasy Age system. Thursday, we're going to be doing Tales from the Loop. And then Friday, we should be back to Anvia. It keeps getting pushed off. We're trying to wrap up the last session. And if that doesn't happen, we'll play some DCC. And then next Saturday, 1 p.m. on this channel, Fallout 2D20.
Yeah.
And then that night at 9 p.m. on Goodman Games Official, Weird Frontiers.
Cool. We'll let Adam finish, so I'll plug myself to twitch.tv/thelollygaggers. On Monday, we are hopefully back to playing Holler for Savage Worlds. You can see some of the faces here in that game. Next Friday, we got a Mothership game. And next Saturday, One Ring, 2nd edition. We play it every Saturday. Also, check out our YouTube channel, Adventures in Lollygagging. Got a lot of different games up there, including our Hunter the Reckoning game, which we played last night as well. Alternates with Mothership. Adam, it's all you, man.
All right. So we just got all the GMs that we need, at least we think, for Gen Con. So the thing I'd really like to talk about is what's coming out on Tuesday. On Tuesday, Beyond the Fire Volume 2, which is a bestiary for both Swyhander and Flames of Freedom, is coming out. And that is folklore entries written by Ken Owa of By the Fire podcast. And so if you're looking for some creatures that are from the Black Diaspora folklore, then you can check that out. And it's releasing on Tuesday on DriveThruRPG. If you go to the website, which is linked there, growandperilous.com, you can sign up for our emailing list if you want us to send out an email when it is available, as we'll do with all our products. So, cool.
All right. Well, I think 2 weeks we're good to go. It's not yet Gen Con, so I think we'll be back on the 30th of July, at least tentatively planned. So we'll be back then. Otherwise, thanks for everyone who hung out tonight and watched. Thanks for those of you who are watching this later on the Grim and Perilous Plays YouTube. I'm going to throw us on the end screen. Adam, if you feel like raiding someone, knock yourself out. So, good night, everybody.
I think I will.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.